Hey, good afternoon, you guys. I was hoping I would maybe catch some of you at your lunchtime, but it's Anne popping back on behind my apron. I have kind of a crazy week of Zoom meetings for our leader training, and they're teaching us about some of the new products coming out in our line, which is always exciting, and just some other really good professional development stuff. But because of that, I have so many Zoom meetings and so many sessions that I was trying to think of something quick to make for dinner this evening before I go on my last session of the day. And I've mentioned this before on my lives to you, but I'm really trying to extend the amount of days before I need to go get groceries. So I'm really looking at what's in my fridge, my cupboards, my freezer, and creating something with that before I go to the grocery store. So today I realized I had a couple chicken breasts left and a few vegetables. And so I decided I'm gonna make it's a really easy crock pot chicken chili Philly. Boy, say that 8 times. But if you guys are, maybe you're doing keto or maybe you don't want as many carbs, you could make this chicken Philly without the bread. You don't have to make it into a sandwich. You could make it into a wrap, or you could put it on a salad. Just do it with some roasted vegetables. But I wanted to do a review like I've been trying to do each time. And, we have a Quick Star here in town. It's a convenience store. But you guys, that convenience store is really trying to kind of remake themselves and be kind of a neighborhood market. And this is one product that they have that are called French rolls. And there's a 6 count. And they do freeze really nicely because it's just 2 of us here, so we don't need a 6-pack. But they're a great texture for something like a Philly or a French dip. Fairway doesn't carry anything like these that I think are this kind of texture, which is our main grocery store here. So ironically, it's at our convenience store at Quick Star. So give these a try, definitely, for the review that I wanted to do today. But let me show you what I'm doing to make this recipe, and I'll tell you what I've had to kind of substitute because I didn't have it. But like I said, I'm not going to the grocery store as often. So I have my crock and base set up because this is a recipe I wanted to throw together now while I'm on break, and then we can eat it 6 hours later for tonight for dinner. And remember me, I don't like touching ground meat or chicken or anything raw. So I'm putting on my food gloves to deal with these chicken breasts. And what you want to do, and you could do this proportionately for however many people that you need to feed, but I wanted about 1 pound or 1.5 pounds of chicken breasts. And they're still a little bit frozen because, like I said, I just figured out what I was going to make this morning. So to help them cook more evenly, I'm going to use our close and cut. Remember, this is the item that you can split everything from chicken breasts, like I'm going to show you, to tomatoes, to grapes, all kinds of things, even cutting bagels in thinner pieces. So, because it's a spring-loaded inside of here. So you're going to take the chicken breast and you're going to, and it's still kind of frozen, so hopefully I'll be able to kind of manipulate it and just kind of squish it up so it fits on the tray. Then you do need a really good long, sharp knife. I love this chef's knife, by the way. And then go ahead and close the lid on it, because you can see there's a seal there. Go ahead and close the lid on it, and then just use this sharp knife. And I was hoping this would work even though they're partially frozen yet, but it feels like it is. And then you're going to have this chicken breast that is evenly split. So I'll do the other one also. And this one feels a little harder, so we'll see how strong I am. See if I can manipulate it just a little bit. These work like a charm when they're not partially frozen. There we go. Again, shut the lid on it. And then you can also use this, like if you're going to split a pork chop to stuff it, or even a chicken breast if you wanted to stuff it, and you'll go all the way to the back. And then I have these nicely evenly done chicken breasts that for this recipe, I'm just going to cut these pieces into strips. Because this way, by doing it and splitting it like that, everything cooks evenly. It all gets done at the same time. So again, just cut your chicken into nice even strips, or as even as you can go. Then you're going to put these long strips in the bottom of the Crock, or if you don't have our Crock system, get out a crock pot or something with a slow cooker setting. And before I dump the chicken in there, I'm going to put the liquid in there. So this is 1 cup of chicken broth that I have put 2 tablespoons of cornstarch in, and I'm using the little mini whipper. And actually, I think the original recipe calls for 3, so let me add just a little bit more cornstarch. You guys, I love these, the slidable measuring spoons when you have different measurements, and I have it all full of cornstarch. But on here it tells you, like, you can slide it if you need 2 teaspoons. You can slide it to the 2 teaspoon mark, or you can slide it to a 1.5 teaspoons, or all the way open for a tablespoon. And then they pop off to throw in the dishwasher. So just whisk your chicken broth and cornstarch so that you know that it's really evenly mixed. And then put it in your Crock base. And I do love this because it has a warm setting also. So you can do low, high, or warm. I rarely use high because it's hot, but I use the low and warm a lot. And I'm going to use low right now because these chicken breast pieces are still partially frozen. So I'm putting in my cup of broth with cornstarch. Then I'm going to just lift up the cutting mat and slide all the chicken in there. So that's going to be on the bottom. And then we're going to add some vegetables. And I'm going to grab a different knife here. So when you think of Philly cheesesteaks, you think of onions and peppers. So here's where I didn't have all these great ingredients. I only had this much green pepper. So that's how much is going in here. And I didn't have a white onion. I had this much red onion. So that's what we're going to use. So I'm going to just pull out the quick slice. I'm going to take this green pepper and I'm going to keep this funny end and just kind of trim that off a little bit because I probably don't want those pieces in there. But when you run a quick slice, this is all blades. And so I'm literally just going to rock it over the base, and then I have all the peppers already sliced. So I'm going to throw those peppers in there, and I'll use this little end, even though he's kind of a funny shape. Throw those on top. While I'm using this, I'm going to add fresh mushrooms. So just fill the same unit with fresh mushrooms. It'll do all 4 at a time. You can use this for all kinds of things. It does a beautiful job slicing tomatoes and strawberries too. It's not for hard stuff though. Like I will not put this red onion on it. So I don't think it does a very good job on something like that. And in fact, I worry that I would sometimes be too hard on it and bend one of the blades and then it wouldn't work at all. So, but for softer vegetables and fruit like kiwi, oh my goodness, strawberries. All right, throw that all in the dishwasher too when you're done. So then I need to get this red onion in there. So I'm going to slice it. I'm going to use the simple slicer, which lets you pick some thicknesses. And I'm gonna go kind of the middle of the road thickness. And all I had left was this chunk. So that's what we're gonna use. I'm just gonna put it in the holder and put the finger saver. This is important, finger saver. And then I just put it right over the pan that I'm slicing into. So you have all these onions, kind of that thickness, okay? It just saves you some mess. So I just slice right into my, whatever I'm cooking with. Kind of spread them around. You guys get the idea? So things are kind of evenly in there. And then you need to put some seasoning on top. Because even though I've added some onions and peppers, you guys, chicken is really, really bland. Chicken requires some oomph, some pick-me-up. So I'm gonna use fresh garlic because that's the good stuff that's for you. And with our garlic press, as I see I have cornstarch all over me, you can just take the clove right out of the bulb and you can go ahead and put it right in the press. And you do not need to, I'm gonna see if I can slide this a little closer. You do not need to take the skin off at all. And just put it in. Use a big clove. And squeeze this. All this is the good garlic that you want. Squeeze that over the top. Cut it off with a sharp knife. And you know something that's really cool about this is when you open it up. Let me see if I can pull it out in one piece for you. There's the garbage, the skin, so you don't have to mess with that. And then it calls for some black pepper, but I love Pampered Chef's crushed peppercorns and garlic. It's very much a blend, but it has a great black pepper flavoring. And so it calls for a half a teaspoon of it. But you know, I'm not a perfect cook by any means. I'm a Pampered Chef person, so I don't worry about the half teaspoon when it comes to something like this. I just give it a generous coating. And then literally you are going to put your lid on and totally leave it alone. Leave it alone for 5 to 6 hours. And that broth and cornstarch will thicken. And then if you're going to make it into sandwiches like we are going to tonight, you're going to toast the bun. And a really fast way to do that is I just lightly put some butter on the inside of the bun, and I heat up a hot skillet on top of my stove. A cast iron skillet works fantastic, or the nonstick stainless does too. And I toast them in the skillet really quick. And then I will lay, you can do provolone, you can do pepper jack, depends on what seasoning you want. But I found Monterey Jack left in my refrigerator that I'll slice into some slices. And I'll put that on the warm toasted side before I add the Philly cheesesteak chicken mixture. And then that way it'll all be warm. And then some people have told me that they like to, when they make their Philly cheesesteaks, after they assemble it like that, they quickly wrap them up in pieces of tin foil so that it just softens that bun just a touch, and I don't know, maybe enhances the way you can eat it, holds together a little better. And this is another product review I would do for you. We have a Dollar Tree here in town, and I can't show you because I'm out and it's on my list, but you know, everything at Dollar Tree is $1. I love that. And in Dollar Tree, in their baggies and tinfoil area, paper towels, that area, they sell a flat box. It's a little bit smaller than a sheet of paper, and it's about that thick. And it is tinfoil sheets that are already done, and there's a nice amount in them. And I have found that they're way less expensive and way more user-friendly than that big box of sheets you can buy like at other bigger stores. So if you're out and about and you're getting something else at Dollar Tree, that's a product that's really, really a good one for $1, and I use it a lot. So if I had some on hand tonight, I might try wrapping those in the tinfoil when it's done. But I don't. So, but if you have any questions about what I used, you guys put it in the comments, and whether you're on a party with me right now or you're just watching my timeline, if you're making something fun tonight for dinner, I would love to know. So put it in the comments. Let me know what's cooking at your house, because that might give me an idea for later in the week. So see you soon.